it's also like a pleasant feeling for me right now to be kind of like, I mean, I'm understanding myself a little bit, and I'm understanding the fact that throughout all these observations, because I would like those observations I was making, those things I would see with people, I mean, and especially like seeing it and feeling like it was this, and then getting told like this other thing, or I'm just flat out I'm fucking crazy or whatever. Like it made me feel crazy. I felt insane for so long. Like I literally feel like I am mentally insane. Um, and like slowly unpacking things for myself, realizing like, oh, this is the real thing. Like I'm not actually fucking crazy for this shit, you know. Um, like for instance, like I was saying, the observations I would make, the things I would see through other people. Gosh. Hmm. I kind of want to pull out my book and start writing while I make a video so I can keep talking. Otherwise, I feel like if I sit in silence and start writing, I'm gonna like, I don't know, either get distracted or not really do it or blah blah blah. It's like I know I want to and I want to focus, and I would definitely like sit down and try, but then it would just like the silence would just bring everything back. That's why I guess because it's quicker, and because I haven't, like, I mean, I started writing again this past like week or whatever, that I've been doing all these things and stopping the other things. Um, but before that, I hadn't been writing much at all for the 8 months. Um, so when I got back into it this past week, I started, instead of writing, I would go to my notes app. Like, my dad always told me, like, you know, and I started doing that a while ago. I just stopped again, like I said, um, 8 months ago. And it's like I would bring a journal and a pencil and a pen, because it's like, what if the pencil breaks or runs out of lead, or if the ink and the pen's gone, you know, anything can happen. You could want something to stay permanently in your book, or something that you'd want to be able to correct as you're going along. Um, so I would always bring a shit ton of writing utensils and at least one or two books that I could write in or draw in, or both. Um, but my dad was like, back when I was still in high school, like, well, we all bring our phones everywhere, you know? And, so I would do this a lot when I was at school if I wasn't able to sit down and really write in a book or something. But I also sat down and wrote a lot, especially in senior year. I had the study halls. I would be writing and drawing a lot, or reading a lot during study halls. But until I got caught for going out into the hallway, because I would tell my study hall teacher I'd be going down in the office, and I would go in the office, pop in and say hi, and then I would go to the same hallway that I would end up in, to, so it would be, for me in senior year, it would be study hall, then lunch, um and then tech. And so that hallway would be the door out the tech bus to the tech buses. And so if it was nice weather, once lunch hit, I would go outside. Because otherwise it still technically was my study hall, so I wouldn't be going outside. I knew that would get me in deep shit. But I was sitting there, and I had principals coming by. Like, the one lady would always tell me to take my beanie off, but I had a decent relationship with her. Like, I know I was a pain in the ass with the beanie shit, but I was like, it really didn't make any fucking sense, so I wasn't gonna just conform to that, you know? So stubborn with that shit, I guess, is what some people would say, but at the same time, it's like there's really no reason why. And the only reason they could give me was the fact that it's like, oh, it's disrespectful to teachers. Well, the teachers I had were chill enough to be like, it didn't really matter, until they started getting in trouble too, and then I was like, well, shit, okay, so I don't want the people who are respectful enough to me to let me make this choice to then get in trouble because I'm making this choice. So that's when I started wearing it a little less, if I could. And then, warmer weather, I ended up switching over to bandanas anyways. Um, but yeah, so I would go out there and read until I got caught, and then she was like, "You're not allowed to go anywhere now." I was like, "Oh shit." But then she let me go anywhere if I had a reason to go. It's just that I couldn't ask every day to go to the office anymore. Um, well, it was like I didn't think I would get in trouble after seeing the principals and stuff because I talked to like two different administrator peoples, and then of course like that black curly haired lady would always tell me to take the beanie off. But like I said, she was always so nice. So I talked to her, and I told her I was supposed to be up in my study hall class, but that it was a study hall, so I asked to come out here and read. Well, I asked to come to the office, and then came over here and read. And then I told her right then that I'd been doing it before. Um, but the weird thing was that my study hall teacher, and I'm getting into this because like this is something I had been thinking at the time, but it was never something I could really like ponder, just because it was no point. But it's like if it's bothering me, there is a point right now, so I'm gonna let it out. Just the fact that even though I had those discussions with the people I knew were higher up, and the people I knew would actually be the disciplinary actors if my study hall teacher were to bring this to the black curly haired lady. Um, she was a white lady, but black curly hair. So I mean, then she would be the one taking that and doing with whatever she felt I would need as a discipline. And if she was okay with it, then there was no reason for me to not do it. Well, the specific thing of reading out in the hallway. But so then the one day I come into study hall, and this bitch is like, oh, when I called the office the other day, I guess because somebody had called to find me, or she needed to know where I was for something, or I don't know. But so she called the office because that's where she knew I was to get a hold of me for X thing. And then she didn't even ever specify what that X thing was, so I don't know. It was all this weird fishy thing, and I never really liked her just by the way that she would act, and just, I don't know, there was a vibe about her I didn't, definitely wasn't someone I would connect with. Point being, it felt like she was lying straight to my face about a bunch of different things by saying one statement of the fact that she called the office yesterday and couldn't get a hold of anyone who knew where it was, even though, like I said, before I would sit down in the hallway, I would pop in and say hi. And even with sitting down in the hallway, I'd talk to the people, the actual biggest person who would be in the office, and she said that she didn't know where I was. So I was like, either you didn't talk to her, or she wasn't there. It changed to new people, whatever, but I know what I did. I knew I wasn't in the wrong, even though every time I would come in and study hall after that, I felt like, and it did kind of suck because it was like, while she did let me, like, one example, bring back scissors to a class I was borrowing them from because I had my psych. Oh my god, I love Mr. Hughes. He was my favorite teacher. Just because he was the most real person, and oh my god, like the way that he would help me through this healing process, and because it was like, it wasn't that he was trying to help me, heal or anything like that. It was just that he was teaching us the curriculum in his class, plus his own ways of teaching it and everything else, blah 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 blah. And it really connected with me because a lot of his ideals were similar to the ones I grew up with. Plus, like I said, it was just real. like it was psychology, so it was a lot of that shit that would help me figure out my own like thought processes and psychological things. And then, the effects of certain things, and then just how basic things work and function and all that shit. So, yeah, I really, really appreciated that class and really appreciated the fact that he was real and the fact that I could have those real conversations with him. And the fact that I had right next to it, basically as a comparison, all those fake bitches in my class would be like, oh my god, I can't live without my pedicures and my hairdos and my monthly Florida trips. Like, how the fuck there was this one girl who was going out to Florida every month? I don't even know. And then a bunch of the other girls who were going out on different trips throughout the year. But it's like, yeah, it's a difference, and that was one of the things we learned in class. Well, learned in class that we would go through, talking about the fact that it was like basically me, my teacher, and one other girl who's my friend Christine in that class. Us three basically coming from this point of view and this kind of like way of life of being poor in certain aspect, like poor, and not growing up with all these crazy things of, oh, I'm getting my nails done. And like, I think I've gotten my nails done once, if that. Like, I feel like it's a fever dream because it's only been this one time if it was real. But it was like a birthday or something, and I think my aunt really wanted to treat me. She lived with us at the time with my cousin Melita, and I miss her so much every time I think of her. Oh, especially because since they moved out, I've been able to see Melita, but trying to reach out to Chris, it wasn't many times that I could have much of any interaction with her, and I'm just glad she got away from all of it, from all the abuse and shit, and it sounded like she was starting up a better life after she got away from this other guy, and Melita's having a lot of trouble, I think, with going back and forth from that and then Yaya's, because Yaya is such a, like, these things, and then, I don't really know how Chris is anymore, so I can't really speak on how things are at her house, but I know how Melita acts and feels when she's at Yaya's with us, and, I know personally the stress of going back and forth from different houses and homes, and people who have raised you, and for her it's two very different women, and I specify there that it's women specifically because I feel like I don't know. No, I can't speak on that. It's just that, like, being a woman, I know how my hormones affect me, and I know how hormones affect other women in conversations with them, and, we have those big group talks about our periods and all this shit, and it's like, all this different stuff, how things make us feel, so yeah, I observe, I've always been a big observer, because I'd rather be sitting there aware of things and taking things in than, speaking up about something and getting backlash or whatever. Um, but yeah, I really want a fucking smoothie right now. I woke up, I want the berries to like detox me. I've been I made that cooked food. I went out yesterday. It was finally that good weather, like I was saying, and so I was sitting outside. But before that, I had gotten home from work, and I was like, maybe I'll just go straight out. Like I was saying, I might go straight to Martin's, but I didn't even have my wallet, so it wasn't like I was gonna go walk straight there. And I was like crazy hungry, so I was like, it's a good thing I have to go home anyways. And then I got here, and I was like, yeah, it's definitely a good thing I came home because I want to shower. It's like it's a difference between being dirty from naturally, like, going outside sweating, getting dirt on me. That's a kind of dirty feeling that I can like get behind. Um, Once I get out of like I need to be clean all the time to be comfortable. No, no, it's something I can get behind being dirty like that. I can deal with it. It's whatever. It's natural. It's like it's yeah. But being dirty from having a bunch of sugary syrups that make me zitty, dry, and sticky, and just all around disgusting feeling and clammy. And then when something like sticky hardens on you and it's not sticky anymore necessarily, or even if it is sticky and it's sticky and this, and then it's like it makes that part of your skin feel tight because it's like, well, your skin's this way, and then you try and move it and it's stretching that, and so then it would stretch the sticky thing, but the sticky thing's tight now, it's hardening. So it's like, yeah, it made me feel so all around just disgusting. And so maybe I can get behind being dirty naturally from sweating and actual dirt, but I do not feel comfortable having those things on my skin that's just drying it out, having all those nasty smells on me that don't even give me any kind of pleasure, don't even, yeah, it's just disgusting. So I took a shower before I even went out, and I was gonna bike, but then I was like, ended up psyching myself out of that for a few different reasons, and then just walked. It wasn't bad to walk, but it felt like hell walking. My legs and shit are so sore after starting work while doing this to myself for 8 months. God, my body is definitely reaping everything but a benefit from that. The benefit was so fleeting, that flavor that was there for 2 seconds, and now I'm still trying to, like, this soreness is not a great feeling. So yeah, I walk to Martin's after I bring my smoothie, I get my backpack on, I got my clothes on, I get on call with Tig again. So we were talking before I got in the shower a little bit. He said, and you know, and I start talking to Tig again. Yeah. That's all about my way to Martin's. I'm thinking about, like I said on that video yesterday, I want that meal that I had when that flavor I had when I first got here. Me and Brandon kept making these veggie dishes in the cast iron he has, and so it would be like potatoes, carrots, maybe sweet potatoes, depending on if we wanted that or if we remembered it or if we got it, blah blah blah. And we would sometimes add back then squash and zucchini. I didn't really feel like I wanted that this time, especially because I love zucchini and I don't like squash, and I don't know. I was really kind of trying to keep it simple. So at first it was just carrots and potatoes, and then I was like, well, what's that other thing? I'm definitely like missing something that I want in here. So it was like carrots, potatoes, and tomatoes. And then I was at the store, and like this whole time I'm thinking about the dish, and I'm like, okay, so if I make this, I'm feeling like I'm missing something, like a fresh aspect that I want. And I'm at the store, and it ends up being that I had mushrooms, so I'm like, maybe that's what it is. Or not maybe that's what it is. I look at it, and it just clicks, and I was like, that's what I want. So I have a red onion. I go to the store, I get a red onion, some more garlic, a bag of potatoes, a bag of these little mini yellow potatoes, because I just want to make this one-off meal, and even if it makes excess, like, that'll be the cooked meal I go to for the next few days, you know, if I go to something. Because at least this is, yes, better isn't actually the best, and better is it's still on the worst side of things. It's better than going and buying some shitty stuff that's also sugary and has ingredients I don't even know, because it's all, you know, out from a restaurant or a boxed meal or some shit like that. Like, craving pizza, I didn't let myself do that. I started craving this, you know, I'm gonna do with that. You know, and I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I kind of immediately, other than, of course, it's cooked food, so immediately I jumped on it and gave all these justifications for it. It was also the fact that it was like, okay, this time I was sitting there and being aware of it. I wasn't just immediately jumping on it, even though, or even if I was being aware of the fact that I was, and also thinking about the reasons why I wouldn't want to do this. But I was, you know, whether justifying it or really seeing that it might be a good idea to do this and still progress in my healing in a way. And because of the fact that it's better than those things, and instead of craving a pizza, I was craving that. I was craving those feelings of when I first got here, that wanting to be doing better for myself, even if I wasn't going about it the right way when I first got here. And even if these decisions still aren't the best ones I can be making, it's a step towards the right direction. Okay, so yeah, so I had that red onion, the garlic, the carrots, the potatoes, mushrooms, and other than in the produce section, I don't look around at anything other than in the produce section, trying to look at the things I'm finding. Oh, I also get avocados, and I was like, maybe this will taste good on top, and I added that to my smoothie the other day because of right now my smoothies, things I'm adding to my smoothies, I am adding, yes, there are so many different flavors, and I definitely end up having them specifically because of flavor sometimes. And right now I'm craving it because I want this flavor of blueberries in my mouth, but I don't feel like chewing on berries. I want to have that smoothie, probably because I know that feeling, and well, yes, because of that feeling that it gives me, but also because of the fact that somewhere I know the fact that it's detoxing me, because those antioxidants are finally digesting and letting those things go out, and I'm just finally shitting, you know, all that stuff. But excuse me. I'm so wanting that smoothie, you know. I don't remember where I just was, but oh yeah, no. So I bought all those things from the grocery store. I got home and I cut it all up, and uh, I get the cast iron heated, put some ghee on there, and put the garlic and onions on there, you know. And it's like, then, and I was thinking about this on the walk home. It's like, even though I'm trying to keep it simple with the ingredients I'm putting in here, so it's like, yeah, I might have red onion, garlic, carrots, mushrooms, tomatoes, and potatoes. That's still 6 ingredients, but it's better than me and sugar and flour and xanthan gum and guar gum and all these other fucking sweeteners and addictive things and all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour, enriched fucking bleached shit, ingredients they don't even tell us about, box shit that came from, it definitely has a percentage of human feces and rat fecal matter inside of it, but we don't talk about that shit. We don't talk about that because that's an uneasy feeling, but it's something that we all fucking know and we still perpetuate it. But okay, anyways, it's like, yeah. So even though it doesn't have all that shit in it, it's still, let alone that is 6 ingredients. But that's not all I put in there. I mean, then you add the ghee. That's 7 already. Then you add all of the fucking flavors that I added on there for from those seasonings that probably have arsenic in them. Like that fucking article she showed me. I didn't even open any of it. It's just like, it's not something I need to put my energy into. There's no reason for me to look at a hot cocoa thing if I'm not gonna have hot cocoa, and I already know these things are poison for me. I don't need to know about arsenic that may or may not be in there. It's just something to distract me, you know. So yeah, I justified it by saying it's a little better, and but then I was like, yeah, even on the walk home, and then while I was making it, I was realizing I'm adding like 20 different herbs and spices to this, and let alone within, like, you know, if you use Italian seasoning, or I have this like herb de Provence seasoning, then that has even more like a list of shit in it, and gosh, yeah. So I add like however many ingredients just by adding seasonings for the taste, you know. Um, and I was kind of doing a little bit of an experiment while I was cutting everything up. I was like, I wonder if I could really just, I mean, minus potatoes, because raw potatoes are disgusting. Like all that starch and that feeling in your mouth, and then that crunch, and it's like, no, potatoes are meant to be soft, in my opinion. Like, or just maybe we're not supposed to eat them. I mean, of course, you eat raw tomatoes on a hamburger or whatever, or salad, and then carrots. I don't know. I eat raw carrots. Pretty much anytime I cut carrots for a cooked meal, I end up popping a few in my mouth at the least. Me and Emma always be eating the carrots, always be eating all the ingredients. My dad knows he would never be able to leave any meat, but especially especially cut up chicken, whether it didn't have anything on it at all or had something on it, I'd be eating the fuck out of that. You'd have to hide it in the microwave so you'd be able to hear if I was coming behind him and opening the door and closing it all and shit. Like, I'm just looking in there. No, but yeah, no, I definitely like to eat as I cook. I mean, it's something I was taught was something we had to do as well. Obviously, not eating the ingredients as you cook, that's not something you have to do. That's just something a lot of people who cook and bake like to do. But I mean, like, that we have to based on the based on the fact that, like, when you're cooking, um the stuff that you're actually cooking, you know, the meal you're making, you want to taste test as you're going along, is something I've always been taught, like at culinary and at home. Because you want to make sure you're actually, like, your end product something edible. You don't want to just be like going along this shit and then you realize once you're sitting down to eat it that, oh, this is still raw, or oh, this is like flavorless, or blah blah blah. Oh, that's also that whole cooking thing, that whole black magic, um, all those senses getting you to be interested in it, grabbing your attention with it, pulling you in. Just like everything, I was thinking about those 50 screens, like everything, not only are you watching all these fucking 50 different things, but they're all also doing things to be grabbing your attention, whether that's using a specific color, whether it be your favorite color or a color that gets psychologically is tested to be bringing hunger or attention towards it, like red, yada yada. All these things trying to grab your attention at once. So your focus is split. That was the point I was making yesterday. What? Bitch. Hmm. Yeah, let me redeem these things before I don't, because I don't want it to completely waste money. Even though, yeah, just like you'd think, or just like I'd be talking to myself about, food, it's wasting money to get cooked meals to begin with. A little shit. It's not even just like the regular games, it's the Black Ops 4 Digital Deluxe Edition. Let's see what the next one is. See, I'm trying to think of some way to like thank him later and be like, yo. It's like I feel bad that I haven't said thank you yet. What the fuck? Look, this is the cross-gen bundle. Captain Price included with purchase and everything. I don't even know who Captain Price is, but all this shit, like, bro. Bruh. You really didn't need to do that shit. He definitely really wants to play these games with all of us, though, and that's something he does so that, hey, yo. Mm, hmm. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna get off Xbox and videos for a little bit. Write about that thing, and, make a smoothie for sure. I'm getting those hunger cravings right now. And I don't want to end up going to something else. And I really don't want just the, I don't know. I would notice this before, back when I'm gonna say back when, because it's like before I moved here, before the 8 months, is back when for me, so it was like, back then I would be, if I started eating too much for a little while, like I would binge eat, considering my, not like I set myself up for a diet, but a diet is how you eat. That's just what it is. Not like yeah. So it'd be, and with my diet, it would, that with my diet, it would basically be like I was binge eating. I would literally feel like I didn't want to chew anymore after that, and that would be one of those pushers towards not eating. And so, between just feeling sick of physically eating, physically digesting, and physically chewing, I also just don't. Yeah, I don't really want to eat the physical thing. I just want to have that drink, And that's always been something too that I've never really felt like, oh my god, yo, holy fucking shit. No, it's like this shit that, oh my god. And see, this is why I just let myself talk, because I'm already coming to things. I'm already helping myself with things. Um, but holy shit, no, I just realized, like, the fact that I wanted to drink even when I didn't want to eat, because people were making me feel like it was not normal to be um not eating, you know. And like I said, I would want an apple for breakfast and my mom would make me have granola, or I would want um great, and see, my dad would let us have fruit for breakfast, but we wouldn't be able to have fruit for a whole meal. Like, I would want to have watermelon for lunch, just be good with it. And or like grapes for dinner, blah blah blah. And gosh, I remember the time that me and my dad were getting into clementines, the first year I started eating those. And me and him sat down at the dinner table after a Wednesday that it was before we did overnight Wednesdays. It was just one of those Wednesdays I was at my mom after school, and then I went back over there. And we were sitting down and talking and having a good time. It was back when Chris and Melita still lived with us too. We were just like munching on multiple bags. Like, he would reach behind him, because that was back when we still had that table and those 3 chairs in there too, in the middle of the kitchen. And then we had the fruit behind where he was, and the fridge behind him. And he'd reach back and he'd grab the next bag, next bag. And we'd just be sitting there eating the fuck out of all these. And that same night, I had like, I was counting the things I ate, because I felt like I ate so much, and I definitely did. It was like the most I ever eaten. I was going through. Um. Oh my gosh! I forgot to turn on Do Not Disturb, and I just got a message from Pop, so I'm probably gonna be doing a video about that soon. Because I finally yesterday sent out the link to these videos, and I was thinking about like prefacing. I always think about prefacing things with shit, and recently I've stopped myself from doing that, and then I keep it a personal thing, and then I think about like this time with Cody's thing. Like, I was gonna come to him and be like, thank you, and then I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But then I was thinking about like being honest with him, and like going into all this other shit about the fact that like basically what I did in the video, by saying like, I don't want to be coming off my programming, and I might end up doing like a little thing about this, not going too far into it, because you know, but maybe saying just that, I don't want to come from my programming and the things I always do in response to this, um, especially because I cannot keep responding as if, this situation or any situation is just like all the ones I've had before. And I was like thinking about prefacing it with the scared shit by saying like, okay, I don't want you holding this against me, blah blah blah, if I'm gonna take this. It's like prefacing, and it's like, really, that's something I need to look further into myself, and that's also why I need to look further into things before I respond to him, because I don't want to just be talking at my ass. Especially because the same way that people have always told me, oh, you're a role model, you gotta be like, your little siblings are looking up to you, blah blah blah. The same way that it's I know I stay aware that I'm I'm an adult now, and in the society aspect of things, but in any aspect I'm older, so that warrants somewhat. I think of me, Cody, and Teg as equals, but as what I'm saying is that I stay aware of the fact that I know that I'm older, so me doing things and perpetuating things and such also kind of like like what I was saying with my mom, it makes it seem to other people that it's okay, and especially even though I keep doing it with the side effects, makes it seem like it's okay. Um, so I stay aware with things like that. I don't want to be that like a bad role model for him. So as well, so so that contributes to one of the reasons why I don't want to respond to this in an improper, not improper in some other buddy's definition of it. I mean, like in my realm of what I feel is how I should be doing things, you know. So, but I gotta learn how I should be doing it in my own way. So, yeah, it's the same sort of thing with these other things where I want to preface it with this material or blah blah blah. And like when I was sending this to my dad the other day, and I mean, if he would just read the comments on the first, the two comments that are on my first video at the moment, I haven't responded to them yet, because it's a lot for me to take in, especially the one that's really long. And right now I'm kind of like I'm just going about things at my pace, and you know, things that come to me, just kind of letting it happen naturally, and naturally in a way, but not just sitting here and like letting stuff like, I mean, in a way, yes, sitting here and letting things come to me by looking inward, but not going about life and just being like, oh, la di da, these things, life's just gonna come to me, you know. When you put in the effort as well, things do start falling in line, and that's what I mean. It just coming together. Same way a lot of things have been coming together at the beginning of this week for me to start on my journey again like this, and then things that have been keeping it going by syncing up with it. But yeah, so yesterday when I sent out the link to my dad, even I was thinking like, yeah, so even to my dad, even I was thinking like, I want to preface this with basically what these two comments were saying. The fact that this is my place to vent and be truthful, and I'm thinking about all these things I can say. It's not this, it's not that, just to combat. Like I'm trying to already combat all these things that I know will be coming to me. Like this message, I can already see. Let me see. I can read it from here. Oh, it's short. Okay, so he says, Gwen, I'm not sure what you want me to glean from this, but as I said, if you want to talk, I'm here. Okay. Same with my mom. Sending you the videos, do with what you please, take from what you please. This is my place to vent. This is, like, the benefits that other people will reap is what, really what they put their mind to, you know, or let themselves open up to. So I wasn't trying to do anything by sending anyone these things, this link, and even yesterday I said, like, I know I'm gonna be getting backlash for this, the same way that I was getting the compliments and the support for it. And, you know, at first I was dogging on the support, and I made that video talking about that, but then afterward, and I woke up, whether it was the time I woke up midnight or this morning at like 4 or whatever, or 6, I think, 7, it was 4 on my TV, it was 7 in real life, well, real life, time's fucking construct anyways, but so that you know what I'm talking about and when I'm talking about it. It was either midnight when I first woke up or the second time I woke up this morning, and I don't know why this makes me. These emotions just really hit me out of nowhere. I had one thought and it just came out of fucking nowhere, and now it's like it's already leaving. Trying to hold on to that for a second though, because to go back, I started thinking. I started talking really fast for a second to get my thought out because I felt like I was rushing myself there. But there was a really long period in my life when I would have conversations, and because my dad messaged me and I was thinking about these relationships this morning, he's still partially in my head when I'm thinking about this, so thinking about things right now. So there was this period in my life where I would talk really, really fast anytime I would try and have a conversation with somebody. And my dad would be like, seeming like upset with me because I was talking so quickly to get out my things, just because like people wouldn't even be able to understand me because I'd be talking way too fast about all these things, and it's like blah, 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 blah. And it's like, at least I know what the fuck I'm saying then, but I'm talking so quickly that other people can't even grasp onto what I'm talking about. But it was because, and what we had always talked about at the time was because when I talk with my mom, she would always cut me off. And then she would always tell me that I'm the one cutting her off, even though I was literally in the middle of a fucking sentence. And yes, I'm still talking as you started talking, but okay, me talking here, you starting, no, me talking here, going along this line, you talking after I started on this little line, but me still going after your line's going. That doesn't mean I cut you off somewhere along when you were saying no. That means I'm still talking and I'm just not going to stop anymore, because if you're going to keep talking, then whatever. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you when you're not letting me finish what the fuck I'm saying. So I started just keep doing that. But anyways, it'd be, we would talk about the fact that was because of the fact that she would always cut me off and make it seem like it was me cutting her off. And I would try and like let everything out real quick so that people couldn't cut me off, so that people couldn't tell me, oh, this isn't it. Blah, 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 blah. So he would try and point that out to me sometimes. But him and Anna would definitely get like a mood about it, and I never really understood why. But yeah, it just made me so upset thinking about that. The fact that it's like I've been through so many different patterns of my own speech just because I've been pushed down, brushed off, talked over, made to feel like I was dumb, made to feel like I was crazy my entire life. Like, it doesn't matter how I would come about talking. And then when it came to the fact that I would have myself in my room, or I wouldn't talk to people, or I wouldn't try and perpetuate arguments, and they would still keep nagging, and still keep coming at me, or if I didn't put my energy into the argument, then I would just, and my dad's, I would just get grounded or in trouble or something, or, oh, why aren't you talking to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, the one time I remember back when it was the first time I had, or the only time I had really told him, like, I don't love you, because of all the bullshit I was being fed, and, at the same time, the things I was observing too. And that was when there's this whole thing, just, whether I talk fast, I just let things go, I would, agree with people. Agreeing with people was the only way to really just keep going. Like, I'd have to actually tell them, like, yes, you're fucking right. You're the best person in the world, and before we could actually fucking move on. Because if I was just like, okay, they would know that I was saying okay just to say okay. And once I finally started doing that, like my last couple years, I was just like, it was so tiring. Same thing, hitting my head against the wall. Insanity, making myself feel insane at the same time that they're also making me feel crazy for the things that they were saying and doing, perpetuating. I'm really jumping around right now because I have like a thousand random different thoughts going through my head at the same time. I wasn't before, so I don't know. But current thing, I started thinking about Pops messaging me again. And it's like, so, because he had said before that he wanted, or that he was here for me to talk, right after he had told me how awful of a person I was for, putting myself first, and how I just broke everyone's heart, and me and Teg have been terrible to my siblings. Like, I can read that message if you want me to if I need to, too, for myself. I think I do need to go back and think a little bit more on it, because I'm just kind of paraphrasing what I remember from it right now. I didn't even respond to it because it was right after I had sent Christmas gifts their way that I was like, I've always wanted to do Santa for the parents, because it's like my whole life I heard this song, and it goes, for kids from 1 to 92. And it's like, okay, well, if it's for anyone till 92 and the whole holiday's for everybody, well, why can't Santa bring gifts for parents too? Like, they deserve it, especially with everything they're doing for us. And once I figured out what Santa was and everything, then I was like, okay, well, now it's my turn to do this for them, because then I knew Santa wasn't real and Santa wasn't gonna do this for them. But, yeah, so I finally just went out and did it, and then I had this, what I thought, I don't really care what they thought about it, but I was like super hype about this one idea I had for my dad, and went all out with this shit, put way more time, energy, money, like expenses in all directions into this stuff. And I'm not saying that because it's like, oh, I did this for you guys. Like I said, I don't care what you took from it. I don't care. Like, I really, you know, I sent gifts to my little siblings because I know I can't really interact with them in any other way, and I sent something more than just, something I know that they like. I haven't even met my little baby brother. I started watching How I Met Your Mother, though, one of the shows I got into when I was here, and so I sent it for baby oh, what is it? Um, Shit, there was something that they would say in in the show. Oh, wait for it, Legend. Wait for it, Dairy. And I was like, baby, wait for it, Swank. Because then one of the people in the show gets pregnant. They're talking about the middle name for the baby, and Neil Patrick Harris is like, oh yeah, it's Neil Patrick Harris. No, Neil Patrick Harris is that old guy. I don't know, the guy that's in there, and I'm feeling like it's Neil Patrick Harris, cause no, but I also don't remember it. It's either that old guy's name or his name. But point being, this guy on the show is like, your middle name for your baby should be wait for it, and then like the guy's last name of the couple. And then they were like actually considering it. I just thought it was funny. And then at the same, a little later, I was figuring out Christmas gifts to get everybody, and then I I wanted to do a little fun thing for me and do like a vintage theme for it. So I got this like older looking wrapping paper, and then string to wrap it with, and then these little old looking cardboard tags with just like simple designs on it. And so I was putting the name on the tag, and I said, "Baby, wait for it to swing." And yeah, and when I say I went out on all these expenses and everything, I mean I spent a lot of money getting it in from Amazon. I bring this up because it's like I spent all that on this when I could have been spending it on a car or saving it for things I can actually be going towards what I want to be going towards, when I knew I wouldn't be wanting to keep doing this and everything else. But yeah, so I sent it to my siblings, and then I sent the Santa gifts because I was like, this is gonna be the one year I go out for and do these things for Christmas, especially because I'm not even celebrating Christmas with myself or with anybody here. It was like literally just sending those things for them. And so after that, I get a message from my dad saying how I just like completely fucked up with my siblings, broke their hearts. Funny he would even try to say that out of anyone breaking Emma's heart, that poor little girl that's constantly being torn from, oh, she has her happy times and she's so high in that happy time, and then everyone just dogs on her, and shits on her. And it's like so two very different housing situations too. And it's like parents that aren't around and basically let the TV parent, and then parents that are up your ass correcting you about every little detail, micromanaging your entire life. So she'd be coming home from her dad's in a good mood, but then get dogged on, and then it's like out the wazoo. That mood. She was so hurt at 6, 7 years old. It's so fucked up. Like, I remember one of the times the cops came to our house. All she wants as a tiny little baby, like she's not old enough to understand anything yet or what's going on, but I was staying home sick from school. I was like terribly sick, but I was watching the baby, and my dad was trying to get work done in the living room, but obviously in a mood. So like the whole environment was tense because I was sitting in the living room too the whole entire time. So it's not like I'm actually relaxing and really getting much better from being sick, because I'm, taking care of and then being tense, taking care of her and then also being tense. And so then I'm taking care of her even more because him being in a bad mood, and then whatever's going on with Anna. So then both of them end up getting into a real bad hash back in their room about whatever the fuck it was that time. And it's like, it's not even really about anything specific. It's normally just them getting out their fucking anger at each other. But oh, it's normal, and oh, they're working through shit, and no, the fuck it is not normal. And just because it's just slightly different than the abusive arguments you've had in your past relationship does not mean it's normal. It does not mean it's okay. You told me my life isn't normal since you met me on your life and your relationship. The way you fucking treat people, the way that you act with yourself and other people is not fucking normal. So, and that's period, point blank. There's no arguing that. It's just, yeah. So, yeah, they were hashing it out in the back, screaming, banging on the walls, the door, that door is so broken, and they wonder why. Yes, it's the dogs, yes, it's just being used, and the fact that it's kind of shitty, but how many times did they hit that? Either one of them just randomly punch the wall. How many holes do we have in that? Do they have now? I'm not living there. Do they have in that house just from randomly punching or, falling into the wall? But it was one of those times that they were loud enough that the cops got called. by whoever, I don't know. A lot of the time I would sit there and think like, oh, is it the neighbors? Are they getting into some shit they shouldn't be, or there's just some random person driving by, or someone at the businesses next door that are hearing this? Like, it's kind of embarrassing, too, in a way. I wasn't even thinking about that in the moment. It's just like, I was just so scared about everything going on, and then I was like, maybe they'll actually get found out this time. But no, they go out and they talk to the cops, everything's fine, and the cops leave and they go right the fuck back to it once the cops are gone. Like, literally, what in the fuck? These cops don't do shit. So that trust for cops dwindled even more, yet still when I ran out, that's where I ended up going, and then they just ended up bringing me the fuck back home, so that's a whole other different thing. So yeah, and then, and during that whole argument, like, Emma's not even crying, she's just, she's got her little baby toys in front of me. She's old enough that she can walk, but she can't, she can talk a little bit, but, she doesn't grasp the situation. It's just, she's all, like, happy and shit, and I'm trying not to cry, because I'm like, I don't want to affect her mood, but the fact that she doesn't get this, maybe I can let a little bit out, so I'm like, but I'm also trying to, like, keep calm and keep her in the living room, because all she's trying to do is go back into their room while they're screaming and shit and banging shit. God knows what else is going on back there. And yeah, so all she wants is the parents, she's trying to get back to them. And I'm just trying to, like, keep her distracted, keep her having fun with these toys, because otherwise, you're not going to keep a baby there by saying, like, no, you can't go back there, honey. Especially because she can definitely hear them back there. They're back there. It's not like you can tell them, mom and pops are busy. They're not back there. Blah blah blah. Like, no, they're right there. She knows. She can hear them. But the cops left. They go straight back to it, and I'm still watching her again all the time. It's like, you really think that I'm the one that affected that poor fucking child? I know, Pops, you didn't bring her into this world. You got a lot of shit. It's not my place to judge. Not my place to judge. I'm gonna stick to the facts. Well, fact being that I can see that you both have a lot of things that you need to heal from, and a lot of things that you need to face and admit to yourself. I don't give a fuck if you admit to me. It's also why I said to my mom, like, my main point in this is not to bring up a discussion. Same thing with my dad. Like, I'm not sending you the link to bring up a discussion. I'm not sending you the link so that you give me attention or fight back or anything. I don't want attention from this. I don't care if you like my videos. I don't care if you comment on my videos. I send it to you for you to do what you do. Oh, but that is something I was going to go into earlier. The fact that when I woke up again, on whichever time it was, and I saw kid watched every single one of my videos I had posted already and left a comment on each single one. And again, my head went back to, like, I don't need the appreciation for my posts, but the support from an outside source at the same time is helpful, and it is really appreciated, especially because I know it's real coming from him and Brandon. It's real shit, real talk and real appreciation and real honesty and everything else. So yes, I do appreciate that support. But I'm not literally everyone I send it to, I'm not doing it so that I get any kind of reaction. I don't want pity. I don't want, what is that? What the hell is gonna do for me? I've had people do that all my life. and act like they're gonna do something or say they're gonna do something when they don't do fucking shit. So fuck off if that's what you want to interact with. Like, I also don't need people telling me off and saying like, oh, about like I'm not doing it for that addiction to that abusive feeling of getting people in like No, I don't want that either. I mean, if I need to, I'll end up blocking the people I need to block, but right now, I mean, my dad's being pretty simple with it. He thinks maybe he thinks he's doing the right thing by saying, like, but as you said, if you want to talk, I'm here, which is basically what I said to my mom. Because, they view me in this snaky, crazy, backstabbing, mentally ill fucking way. And you can't tell me you don't, because it's what you tell other people. That's how you interact with me, so it's pretty plain to see. And if you're gonna treat me that way and talk about me that way, at least be open and honest about it. And if you feel like you need to say something, then say it. But like I said, that's not why I'm doing this. And I'm gonna have to figure out, I mean, if I do respond to him, I'm gonna think about a way of wording that's not prefacing and saying I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that. And I guess I haven't really gotten into it in any of these videos, but something I've talked about since I've been here with the people I trust is the fact that out of my 4 parents, my dad is the closest to making breakthroughs with himself and looking inward. He's gone into therapy and actually not gaslit the therapist or whatever the fuck and lied to them and blah blah blah. He goes in there, and from what I know, it's helping him. I mean, he's interacting with people differently. He's trying different things. He's making growth and changes and trying to look a little inward. Maybe that's not the main goal with it. Like, maybe that's not exactly the only thing he's trying to, or the thing he's trying to do by looking inward, which is what should be the thing to do to heal and to make growth within yourself. But he is starting to do these things, and I've seen that even when I was living there. But it's like, how many times, and something else I think I wrote about recently, a little bit, or maybe it was in one of the videos, is the fact that I feel like I can see a little bit of people's authentic self either shining through different things that they're doing or just in general through them. I mean, especially people say you can look in the eyes and see it, but I mean, like, I can really see how they'd act as their authentic, be from their authentic self. While they're still coming from their ego and acting on their ego, and I needed to make the separation of the fact that I know that authentic self is there, but that's not what they're running off of. So I can't keep sitting here running off of hope on my end that, oh, my parents are going to change, or oh, I'm going to have a better relationship with my parents, oh, they're going to heal themselves, oh, they're going to blah, 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 blah. No. Or, oh, I see this person inside, he is this person. Like, yes, authentically, and he is this person, but he's not being authentic. So I can't sit here with that. Gosh, I feel like I could make these videos go on for forever. I'm just letting myself let things out, but yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna end this one. really get into writing, make a smoothie. Think about how to respond to some of these different things I've encountered just within this morning. Yeah. Deuces.